All right, welcome to Death Metal Cycle. Today we're going to talk about life after the hardtail Sportster. First of all, this is my second bike. I had a Sportster before this. You've seen it before. I'll throw the videos up. I had an 883 2016 and it was way too new. I didn't chop it, but I bought it thinking I was going to. So I bought this one specifically to do all the things I'm probably about to talk about. But before then, all I really wanted was a Sportster chopper. It's kind of all I thought about. I didn't know anybody in motorcycles. I didn't have a motorcycle background. I just rode my Sportster all the time and really wanted a chopper. And I thought, oh, a Sportster chopper is the way to go. And then anything older, vintage, I kind of didn't really have an idea, like a pan, Shovelhead, all that stuff. I knew those things existed, but I didn't know the differences between them. So I was fixated on having this type of bike right here. Just everything about this thing. This was my idea. Instagram was just showing me Sportster choppers, Sportster choppers. Now that I've had this thing for 2 years, hardtailed, I've got this thing dialed. As you can see, I don't have the invader in the front. I don't have T-bars on it. The exhaust has been this way for a while. It's kind of new. It's ready to go. It starts up and it rips. I pretty much know every little thing on this bike now. I can tell when the battery's taking a crap like it is now. When I got over here, it's hard to start. And I got different tires on it. I was running those Avons for way too long and you can't get them anymore unless you're a millionaire. So I had to switch. Pretty simple stuff. I put the 6 bends on it, way more comfortable for me. I was trying to make this thing a trip ready road machine and kind of at the point where it's too uncomfortable for me. Maybe if I had a cool seat, king, queen or something, I had a little backrest on it or something for my tailbone. But this thing's terrible. I learned a lot with this bike and it's afforded me a lot of things and trips that I went on and people I've met and things. And it's not just the bike that I got, it's all the videos I've made, this channel, people that have helped me, gave me advice, or I picked their brain or helped them out, all the fun stuff I've done. And I would say this bike was totally worth doing. I had one idea of what a chopper was and this was it. And ever since then, my mind has gone towards more vintage stuff. I'm just kind of a psycho like that. I like tooling around with stuff. And so this bike is kind of not cool to me anymore. I like riding it. It's fun to rip around. Little bar hopper, I guess. But I've done too many trips on it and it's gotten smaller every trip. It's definitely not a show bike anymore. It's got a lot of nicks and scratches, a lot of road wear, a lot of little things that show up after you've put a lot of miles on these things and your parts start rubbing together and you hit certain things getting on and off the bike or putting your pack on. As you can see, it's I put different oil in it just to try it because I knew it wouldn't blow the motor up. I put a fancy new 2050 in it. And it hates it. It's just been shooting out of the breather and all the other places. Stuff you learn, just trying to figure out what it likes. There's no dealership here, and that's kind of the best oil. And I think it's the V1 racing stuff. That shit is like water. And that's the best stuff I could find. you might as well just run whatever 2050 crap you can put in here. That Valvoline my top end ticked like a freight train everywhere I went, and then I put some different stuff in it and it ran great. So this time I put synthetic in it just to see what it would do. Hates it. Everyone's probably screaming at me, you're not supposed to put synthetic in an older bike. Well, whoop-de-doo, I tried it and it hates it. I'll probably change it out. I went on a trip or two with it, so screw you, I did it. After having the bike and putting like a summer and a handful of big trips on it, boy, did I learn where all the tabs and things are that are weak. My bike has not had any tab issues with the fender, the oil bag, tank, excuse me, mainly the exhaust. I think that's kind of what everyone goes through when you start getting your exhaust all crazy and then you weld tabs to the exhaust. They're gonna crack. You can do what you can, but they're gonna go. There's so much vibration and you're just hitting bumps and hauling ass on these things. Sportsters go so fast. Everyone says, oh, they don't go that fast, but you're gonna go fast for short bursts, and these things just vibrate to death. So yeah, my overall experience with this thing has been super fun. If you have a Sportster or you want to get one, just do it. Don't care about money. Don't care about how am I gonna do it. I don't have a garage. I don't have a shop. Who cares? Just get your bike, running or not, and chop that freaking thing in half. Pull the motor out. You don't even have to chop in half. Just pull the freaking motor out. Once you do that, you're there. You have to fucking do it now. Once you get one of these things, ripping on the road, you got a whole new image, a whole new life. It's kind of like skateboarding. Once you get a skateboard, you just fucking throw that thing on the ground and start just hucking your carcass all over town. From A to B is fun. That's the way motorcycles are. Once you get off, you're in a different fucking place. People around you are interested in the same shit. They all have crazy stories because they're all getting on something and going somewhere. And they're just going out and riding ridiculous things that they've made. And they all have different stories because everyone's different. Everyone sucks at welding, painting, riding, just mechanical shit or whatever. But out of those, you're good at one of them. There's like the trifecta. You're either a welder, a painter, a mechanic. You can't be good at all three. If you are, you're a born free builder or whatever. Even those guys take their bike and give it to paint, or they'll have a guy do the motor and they'll do the fab and the paintwork or whatever. So saying that, I was just riding around. I met other people that rode. And it was kind of nerdy. We just rode bikes. And then I would try to tear apart my bike. And I don't know. It just wasn't the same. Even when this thing's broke down, I'm still having fun. Even though I'm crying, bitching, I still have a story to tell. If you asked me about this bike, I probably would say, oh yeah, it's cool, it's a bike. But you start asking me little specific things and I got endless amounts of stories for every little part on this bike. I put my hands on every single thing on this bike. The motor, the fab work, the tins, the paint. I don't even know. See, I have to have someone else point to it for me to tell you what I did to this bike, because I did everything. So now that I got this thing, I probably put a bunch of miles on this thing. I don't even know how many at this point. I had a Speedo and I took it off. This thing's got all kinds of road wear on it, all the goofy things. I'll give a little short list of them. I'm gonna just look at the bike and talk about it because it's too many things to list. Number one is handlebars. We're already here. I had T-bars on this thing. They're pretty comfortable, and I rode them for way too long, and then I switched to ape hanger type deals. Game changer. Now I'm kind of I like bigger bars. I put these 6 bends on them, but you know, everyone's different. The T-bars were awesome, and the last big trip I took, I was just hunched over. My arms were perfect, looked cool, was sweet, did what I had to do, super fun. Kind of from a stop you're kind of flopping a lot, but when you're in a canyon or ripping around roads, man, they're so fun. You're just nice and tight, smashing through cars. Can't recommend them more. Not sure if I bitched about this seat. It's kind of the worst thing about this bike is the seat. Put it on a hinge, make sure you can get it on and off. This freaking sucks. It's uncomfortable seat too. They're cool looking, but get something with a little hump here. Save your tailbone, at least mine anyways. I'm getting old, so my butt's disappearing, and it doesn't help that my tailbone and bony ass just slowly rides right up this thing towards my pack. Like right now, I don't have a pack, so I'm just dying on this thing. Another fun thing is my oil bag. I put a quarter along here on both sides, like an actual quarter, and I figured that's enough gap. And I try to keep everything tight. The fender and the tire, oil bag to here, and exhaust and certain things. I tried to make them all sleek and tight. Don't do that. Give everything a gap. Even though the gas tank I put way too far forward. Starting with that, I can never get the bolt off. It's a pain in the ass, scratches up the tank. This thing is so freaking close to the frame. If I have to take this off, it's a nightmare. I had to take it off one time, and I don't ever want to do it again. It's just the paint. Once I painted it, it closed up all the actual gaps I had. So give yourself room. You're never too cool to have a gap. And the rear fender here, put it way too tight. I had the coolest Avon tires ever. Well, guess what? They don't make them, and I think someone else took them over, and they're freaking expensive and on back order. So I switched to these Shinkos, and they're a little bit big. So if you get too close, you're gonna rub. After hardtailing my bike, I've learned a lot. This bike is super sweet. It's for sale if anybody wants to buy it. I need other projects. I can always build a sporty chopper, but I'm also an old man, so I got to get rid of it. I got to get myself a nice Road King, and then I'll probably chop that thing in half too. Make that super uncomfortable. All good things must go. So if you're interested in this thing, shoot me an email, go to my website, and all my info is on there. I'm going to put a blog up about this thing along with this video. And yeah, you should definitely chop a bike up. It doesn't even have to be a Sportster. It could be a big twin. Could be, I mean, everything. All those websites all have stuff for it. So you really don't have to be a fabricator or whatever. I'm not a fabricator. I'm just a dumb truck driver. But I got it done. I figured it out. Now I have the tools, the knowledge, the homies to do a lot of cool shit with a bike if I really wanted to. That's it. Like, subscribe, comment, and check out these cool novelty helmets. I got this at the swap meet for pennies of the dollar. Super unsafe. I don't know if it fits, but I look hilarious in it, and it has a cool sticker. That's basically why I bought it, because it says that on it. But you should definitely check out all the videos in a playlist of this bike right here.